Hello and welcome to video number 4 in our Entrepreneur Success Brain Training series. And this one is all about where the rubber meets the road. This video is all about the secrets of implementation and why moving from understanding to actually taking action is the most difficult thing for most people to do and the biggest brain-based roadblock to any successful business owner. So let's get started. You know, there's actually a joke that circulates amongst trainers in the personal and business growth industry, and that's that so many of their products that people buy at seminars end up on the shelf and never get put to use, they end up calling it shelf help. Well, one of the key skills of being a successful business person is being able to implement, to take new ideas and to put them into action. Especially the kind of ideas like we discussed in video number 1, where you're using your weekly creative sessions to improve things that are working, to create new processes to reach new goals. Nothing really happens at all until you've put it into action and have been successful in implementing your new plans. But why is implementation such a roadblock? Well, I think it's because at the implementation phase, you're actually translating thoughts into action. You're actually in the middle of the process of creation. I mean, up until you actually do something differently, just thinking about it, nothing's at risk. Nobody's watching, nobody can see you, nobody's going to know whether or not you make a mistake, and we're going to talk about mistakes in just a second. So, taking action, putting it out there, is putting yourself on the line and opening yourself up to the brainstem and its reactive mentality, right? It's reactive survival mode because something could happen. You have the possibility of a future filled with discomfort. Yes? So that's why I think a lot of people get stuck at the action step. But I want you to know that successful companies, many of them very innovative companies on the forefronts of healthcare and information technology, do things completely differently. I know that in some of these companies, they actually have the phrase, fail fast, make the save. And what that means is, let's get in action. Let's take action early. Let's put a lot of things in play so that we can get a lot of feedback on what works and what doesn't, and we can refine our systems quickly. Great. So, how do you implement? How do you take action powerfully and quickly inside your business? Well, there's one key that I've found that enrolls your brain in working this new system, these new actions with you, and it's a lot of fun too. And it's really no secret. All you have to do is insist on implementation being fun. Remember, your brain loves to play games. It loves to implement things creatively. It loves to be asked, how can we do this creatively? And what's happened in business over the years is people have tolerated really boring, really hard implementation plans. What if you went to one of your creative sessions and said, look, we have an idea on the table about increasing our sales by increasing joint ventures. We've got 3 or 4 people targeted to be our new joint venture partners. What's a creative, fun game we can play that will result in them coming on board with us? I wonder how many ideas you can figure out around that one. But let's welcome fun. Let's welcome creativity. Let's welcome games back into the implementation planning phase. Here's what I think happens. People say, oh boy, we're going to take some action. Oh, that's going to be work. Their brainstem gets activated and they shut down their creativity. They get really linear and their implementation plans are boring. Implementation works best when it's designed like this. What's a game we can play that's so fun we can't resist, and when we play the game well, our results will naturally come in alignment with our goals? Think about that for a second. Now that is where you can use your creative sessions to really create powerful implementation plans that get there almost automatically. Just imagine that for a second. Implementation that's a fun game that produces your results naturally. And I'm going to talk to your little voice right now because your little voice is talking to you. I know. Here's a fact. Just because you don't know how to do it creatively and with fun doesn't mean it can't be done in a creative, fun manner. Are you willing to accept that for now? Yeah. Because in my experience, the biggest block is not resources, it's not knowledge, it's not personnel, it's your creativity. It's your creativity. And especially if you're a solopreneur, I encourage you to get your flash mob creativity group together, just like we discussed in video number 1. And just in case you're getting into a little bit of reactive survival mode and your brainstem is activated, let's talk for a little bit about what's the worst thing that could happen. Well, the worst thing that could happen, most people label as you could make a mistake. You could take an action and make a mistake. Let's talk a little bit about what the concept of a mistake is when you're doing something you've never done before. Because I don't believe that the word actually is appropriate. Let's talk about it. I mean, honestly, when I think about the word mistake, what I think about a mistake is where there's a situation where I know if I take action A, it will be successful, and yet I take action B knowing it won't be successful. That's, oops, I made a mistake. I did B when I should have made A. But that's not really what's happening, is it? If you're trying a new marketing idea, if you're doing outreach to a joint venture partner, you don't know what's going to work and what's not going to work. It's not an opportunity to make a mistake. It's actually an ability to gather feedback that can then refine your actions going forward. We're going to go into a lot more detail in this on the next video. However, the important thing is, remember those companies I talked about earlier, fail fast, make the save. They use the word fail, but they know they're not making a mistake. They're actually getting feedback on what works and what doesn't. The mistake in this situation would be to get into reactive survival mode, get all hunkered down and worried that you're going to make a mistake when that's not even what's happening. You're just getting feedback to refine your processes and do a better and better job in the future. So let me take you back through the last several videos and let's do a quick review of the system here, the Entrepreneur Success Brain Training System. Let's use a case study of you just came back from a conference and you've got some great ideas you wanted to put into action. You've got a new goal for yourself that this conference makes possible. Let's say that it's doubling your sales. So if your new goal is doubling your sales, and if you've done as I've suggested and blocked out 2 or 3 hours a week on your schedule for creative sessions of brainstorming, and you've created a team around you, even if you're a solopreneur, that can come in and help you with that when you need it, here's what you do. Go through the QIC process. Remember, Q is quit, so you scan your current business design for areas that are inconsistent with this new goal and you stop those things. I is for improve. In that scan, you're going to see things that are working. You improve each of those in your creative sessions. And lastly, C is for create. You create whole new ways to support this new goal. And then, as we've learned on today's video, maintain your creativity in the implementation phase. What's a fun game that we simply can't resist, that when we play it well will result in us reaching this goal? How many people want to play? How many people can be involved in brainstorming the rules of this game? What are the rewards? Yeah, how fun is that? It's a whole new way of looking at implementing business processes, and it works really, really well to get people on board and to improve everybody's morale. Everybody knows their creativity is being honored. It's an awesome experience when you can transform your job like this, and you can do it even if you are sitting alone at your desk as a solopreneur. So that's it for today's video. And in about 3 days, I'm going to send you another link to the last video, which is all about how do you create and maintain a continuous quality improvement system that's a lot of fun. And if you want, there's a link right down here too if you want to watch it right now. So for right now, have a great rest of your day. Dyke Drummond, businessdevelopmentvideos.com, and here's to your success.